Nigeria Info.
Listen to me, I said this is a real situation and the government has to do something about it. You're trying to insinuate all these people looting Nigeria's money?
This is Nigeria Info, in the heart of Nigeria. 92.3. We are Nigeria Info.
Information is a two-way thing. Nigeria Info, it's your turn. Let's talk.
And now, Hard Facts. Hard Facts with Dayo.
Hello, good afternoon to you and welcome to Hard Facts 92.3 Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dayo. It's 10 minutes gone past 3 p.m. It's a Tuesday. And oh yeah, it's a new month as well. It's the first day in the month of June 2021. So happy new month, definitely in order. Happy new month to you, and congratulations. You made it to the month of June. That's like a very big deal these days in the country. Now I don't mean to scare you or get into any kind of hysteria or anything like that, but it's a very good thing, and it's a major thing as well. So much going wrong, really, but the conversation, we must keep going to ensure that we're able to change this narrative eventually, and it all comes down to you. It all comes down to me, because I've said this before, and I insist and persist that people are responsible for the quality of leadership that they get, and by extension, the quality of government or governance that they get. You cannot dissociate yourself from it. It doesn't work that way. It never has worked that way. It never will work that way. So if there is bad governance in Nigeria, it's because of the decisions we have all collectively taken. If there's bad governance in the country, it's also a result of the collective decisions that we've all taken. You can't stand on one side of the fence and claim to not be interested and then complain when things inevitably fall to pieces. Anyways, welcome once again. It's Hard Fact Time Dial. It's another day, absolutely. Another Tuesday, and we keep the conversation going. I hope the start to this new month of June has been a productive one for you, or at least, you can see the handwriting on the wall, and there are prospects and signs that things are going to work out for you this month, in spite of all the indices and the data, the stats, the numbers, the figures being crunched and that are out there. Not looking good, I must say, not looking good. But it can still make something of the situation. Know that. Just work smart, work hard, listen to Nigeria Info, and contribute your quota to nation building and national development. From now till 7, we keep the conversation going. Several matters we're going to be addressing today, as usually is the practice. I've got side comments coming up in a moment. Random stories and random thoughts, which will not be discussed now, but very likely later on after the major news at 6 p.m. during the open season segment. I'll take contributions on every matter discussed on the show or mentioned by myself, including my side comments. That comes up after the major news at 6 p.m. So after that, the rant is officially back. Well, technically the rant was back yesterday, or should I say officially it was, okay, it doesn't matter. Officially and or technically, the rant is back. Kind of like yesterday, really, even though there wasn't an actual rant delivered yesterday. I delivered what I believe was the last major update as far as the situation with the previously abducted Greenfield University students and staff, now released, by the way. Thank goodness for that. And they've been reunited with their family, friends, and loved ones. Unfortunately, we have another situation on our hands where at least over 100, if the figures in the public domain are anything to go by, some say 150, others say 200 students in Niger State and other individuals have been kidnapped. I will not be suspending the rant for that, as I've explained severally, and indeed yesterday as well. The essence of the suspension during the Greenfield situation was not to suspend the rant every time a person or group of people get kidnapped, but once again it was symbolic to draw our attention to a very critical matter in our country, and I hope that you did get the message. I really hope you did, even though I am quite certain that there are some who did not. That's inevitable, by the way. Not much I or anyone can do about that, but I hope that at least you got the message. So once again, the rant is back. So I will be delivering a rant today. Yes, I will, and I'll be getting your take and my take all the way till 4 p.m. Now, before we've got the business news coming up, yes we do, and after that we move on with the conversation. You may have heard about the registration or revalidation of membership of the All Progressives Congress that's taking place throughout the country. Yep. It's been met with some controversy here in Rivers State. Maybe not surprisingly, really, because a lot of things are met with contentions and controversy as far as Rivers State is concerned. Go figure, wonder why. But anyways, there was a committee set up recently, the Committee on Registration, Revalidation Appeal Panel. I believe that's been sent out across the country to listen to appeals or disagreements or concerns regarding the registration and revalidation process. And like I said, here in Rivers State, there was a major issue with that, or there has been, possibly still exists. This committee, by the way, headed by Honorable Ahmed Farouk and Honorable Victor Giadom, secretary of this panel. Reports have it that the committee met with APC members here in the state, including APC members loyal to Senator Magnus Abe. Senator Wilson Ake led that faction of the party, possibly met with other members of the party as well, possibly even the other faction also. So I'll be discussing the details of these meetings and as to whether or not all Rivers APC registration revalidation concerns have been addressed. So that will come up in conversation today. My guest, Honorable Kingsley Akumefile, an APC stalwart, will be my guest for that conversation in the 4 o'clock hour. Has the APC in Rivers State finally found its footing? Have all the issues been resolved, especially matters regarding registration and revalidation? Once again, that comes up in the 4 o'clock hour. After the business news, taking us to 5. We've got the news updates coming up, and after that, we delve into other matters. Wike ex-commissioner exchange hot words. Yep, Governor Wike and Honorable Bazia are slugging it out. They are slugging it out lately. Throwing, it's a no holds barred conversation. They are throwing all the punches, throwing even the kitchen sink and the bathtub, throwing everything at each other. Wheel, spanner, jack, you name it. They're throwing everything at each other. Well, the headline is from the Punch newspaper. Wiki ex-commissioner exchange hot words on TV program. I'll give you details of that story later on, but we have some version of it on our news from earlier today as well. I'll read some from that, and we've got some sound as well for that story. Now, Governor Nyesom Wike and his former Commissioner for Chieftaincy and Community Affairs, John Bazia, have traded words on live television over recent defections in the state. Now, the live television program ended on a dramatic note when Bazia criticized the governor. Let's hear what Honorable John Bazia had to say during said interview.
I must tell you, all those who are with him, they know what they're going through. But you've been seeing him on TV, and sometimes you'll be baffled. He forgets exalted position, the office of the governor.
All right, but the anchor interjected Bazia, saying his words were weighty. The governor, who was visibly annoyed, replied Bazia, asking why the former commissioner did not resign when he was commissioner. Here's some of what the governor had to say himself.
The talk appointed me a commissioner. He never knew he was a thug. He appointed a commissioner. But it's only when he removed him that he now knew that he behaved like a thug. He did not resign. You were working with a thug all this while until when the thug did not bring you back as a commissioner. You now realize that he behaved like a thug. Now look at the kind of characters we have. And this is the kind of people you want me to respond to. Somebody who stole the corner of traditional rulers. Please, we do respect. We do respect. This is the kind of characters you have as politicians in Nigeria. Today is good. The sympathies of you. Tomorrow is bad.
Okay. What exactly is responsible for this? What led to this? What's behind all of what's going on at the moment? Hopefully, I'll get your take on it. But hopefully as well, I'll be having as a guest in the 5 o'clock hour to discuss this matter. Honorable John Bazia, former member, Rivers State House of Assembly, and former commissioner in Rivers State as well. Hopefully, I will get his presence on the show as well to get his take on it. We'll definitely be getting your take in the 5 o'clock hour. Headlines 5:30 p.m. Major news at 6 o'clock. And afterwards, after the major news at 6, open season till about 7 o'clock when we wrap up the show today. Extra time with the sports camp will be up by 7 o'clock, officially signaling the end of the show, of course. And that's it for today. Any changes, you will find out. Simply stay tuned. So we get things going now with some side comments, random stories and random thoughts I came across, which once again will not be discussed at this time. Starting with this one. A landlord in a cocoa market has accused the Rivers State government of paying compensation less than the value of their buildings. A landlord who spoke anonymously said after several meetings with the liaison firm, they were disappointed when compensation was paid. Let's hear what this landlord who chose to speak anonymously. I wonder why he chose to speak anonymously. Well, let's hear what the landlord had to say.
In terms of the value of the property, it's below 30% of the real value. A property in this part of Port Harcourt should be worth, a bungalow within this business district should be worth about 50 million naira. Property owners were paid about 9 million naira for this kind of property, and no property owner within this area is very happy with the compensation by the firm who were used by the government to compensate property owners.
Okay, all right. Well, if you have concerns, if the landlord have concerns, I'm sure they can go to court, I imagine, you know. But I'm not 100% certain about this. But I think when government pays compensation, they're not paying you for the value of the land. They're paying you a value of the property on it. And the value of property, the building, the structure on it is not determined by location, I think. You know, so it doesn't matter if it's at the current location or in GRA or elsewhere. I think they simply pay you based on the value of the structure that you have on it. But anyways, once again, I could be wrong. But if there are concerns, you can always go to court, I believe, and test the law. Commercial drivers protested this morning along the NTA road in Port Harcourt over harassment by the Rivers State Task Force on street trading and motor parks. The drivers carried banners and placards telling several tales of extortion and harassment by members of the Rivers State Task Force. The situation caused traffic gridlock on that route, and the last fallout between drivers and officials of the Rivers State Task Force led to the disbandment of the task force by the Rivers State government. They were later reinstated with a new leadership. Several months later, commercial drivers continued to complain of the conduct of the members of the Rivers State Task Force. Your Excellency, the Governor, it appears that your administration doesn't really know what to do about this, because obviously simply changing the head of the task force does not change their modus operandi. It doesn't. So you have to go beyond simply changing the head. It's like the federal government's tactics of changing service chiefs. It hasn't accomplished very much. Maybe from tomorrow it might, but so far it hasn't. So simply changing the head of this task forces or this particular one in Rivers State does not change what happens, and it gives the impression that it's deliberate, that government doesn't really care, that even when you decide to change the head, it's just because these people are making too much noise. Let's do something to quieten them for a moment, you know. But these are people. They live with these realities every single day. They are the people you claim to love and want to serve. So if their lives are negatively affected by your policies, then we have a problem here. And once again, we do need some sanity on our roads, yes. And a lot of these commercial transport workers are problematic, no doubt about that. But rather than have these task forces where you have criminals and might I use the word bandits amongst them, could we have a proper traffic management agency in Rivers State if that's necessary? And I think it might be necessary, at least compared to the option of having a task force. Can we have a well-structured traffic management organization in Rivers State? There's nothing wrong with that. You can get proper people there, have them properly trained, and just do things the right way. You know, it's not tedious, is it? It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science, actually. It can be done, and it should be done, actually. Now, investigations have shown that GSS 3 students writing the Basic Education Certificate Examination (BECE) in a community secondary school, Rumekini, were asked to come with at least 500 naira to facilitate their examination. Some parents told our correspondent that the money will be used to assist the students where necessary. Meanwhile, the Association of Parents of Private School Students have condemned the incessant level of pupils and students in exam classes. Well, I'm not sure much can be said about private schools. If you send a child to a private school, what happens in that school is between the school management and the parents. The school can charge whatever they want to charge. Of course, if there are any special fees, possibly in consultation with the PTA. But for the state-run schools, I hope we're not going to hear eventually from the Ministry of Education in Rivers State. Somebody from the ministry say something like, "You see, we have always been telling the parents. See, by the kind graciousness of His Excellency the Governor. You see, His Excellency the Governor has provided free education, in the history of mankind since God created Adam and Eve. No administration anywhere in the world. Go and check the records. Quote me. Go and check the records. Has ever done what his angelic godliness, His Excellency Chief Barrister Adedayo Elusakin has done for the good people of Rivers State in the kindness and magnanimity of His Excellency Chief Barrister Adedayo Elusakin. He provided free education, and he has said, and he's paying. He's paying. He has said nobody, on no account, nobody should collect money from the students. But His Excellency cannot be everywhere. His Excellency cannot be. What do you want His Excellency to do? When His Excellency has said, don't pay, and they said pay. As I'm talking to you right now, no parent has come to report. No parent. I dare them to tell us where parents have come to report. What do they want from His Excellency? What do they want His Excellency to do? These are the things that we are saying. These are the things that we keep saying every single day. So, by the way, I hope His Excellency has heard now. And I hope the guys at Ministry of Education, Professor Ibeku, I believe is commissioner right now, I hope they are hearing. I hope everybody, the whole world literally hears and knows, except His Excellency and the people who are supposed to know, actually. It's their job, that's what they're paid to know, to do. But somehow, miraculously, they do not know. So I hope that with the kindness of His Grand Excellency, that this matter is going to be addressed, and whoever is erring, appropriate sanctions will be meted out, and you can save the parents and guardians and students any unnecessary costs and embarrassments that may come with it. Anything else caught my attention today on the news? Well, so many, lots of bad news, and I think I'd just like to stay away from all of those for a while. You know, the killings, the presumed or alleged assassinations, and by the way, I'd just like to say about the current turmoil that's playing out in the country. do be careful. There is a lot of fake news making the rounds, especially on social media. Just because somebody forwarded something to you on WhatsApp does not make it true. Just because you saw it on Facebook does not make it true. Even if your pastor told you, it might not make it true. Check and double check. Check conventional media outlets. They told you some governor had his convoy attacked. Check if the Punch, the Guardian, Vanguard, the Nation, Tribune, Daily Trust and Co. are not reporting it, and Nigerian for I dare say, you cannot believe it. It doesn't matter how many times people have viewed it on Facebook. It doesn't matter who forwarded it to you on WhatsApp. You have to check and double check your information these days. Protect yourself, protect others, be responsible. Finally, to wrap up today's side comment, a reminder to the CP Nest Book of Friday, the versatile CP of Rivers State. We're still awaiting the result of the investigation of your crackhead boys, your children that collected 150,000 from Uniport's undergrad and forgot the phone. What's going on with that CP Book of Friday? Versatile CP. We're still waiting for the result of that. And also some of the other crackhead children who allegedly extorted somebody else of 200,000 naira. What's going on with that? CP Book of Friday. We're still waiting for the results of that as well. Do let us know when you get the bank statement. Hopefully before Christmas this year, that bank statement will surface. Hopefully. Keeping my fingers crossed. And finally, Your Excellency, the River State Governor, we heard that you spent, I think, 20 billion or so on the River State University. Well, I guess time will tell if we can see the result of the 20 billion. But that may be all well and good, but we also need to pay a lot of attention to basic education in River State. It's in shambles. It's not. It could be in a much better place. So let's work on that, Your Excellency. Let's work on that also. 20 billion or more in basic education in River State will go a long way. Will go a very long way. So that's it for today's side comment. I'll go on a break now. When I return, today's round comes up. Please stay with us.
Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162, and let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on...
Listen to me. I said this is a real situation and the government has to do something about it. What are you trying to insinuate? All these people looting Nigeria's money?
This is Nigeria Info. In the heart of Nigeria. 92.3. We are Nigeria Info.
When knowledge meets action, information liberates. How informed do you need to be to thrive in a fast-changing world?
Listen to experts only.
Keep it dial locked on 92.3 Nigeria Info for the best of news, talk, and sports 24/7.
I am listening. Are you? Clean surrounding is a collective effort.
Diseases could be avoided
with good hygiene practice. Be more responsible with how you dispose waste products. The environment will be better looking without litter and exposed garbage. We love our city clean. This message is from 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Information is a two-way thing. Nigeria Info, it's your turn. Let's talk.
And now, Hard Facts. Hard Facts with Dio.
Welcome back. It is Hard Factor 91.3 Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio, and I'd like to rant for just a bit. I've got something on my mind. I've expressed a few thoughts on it, and you're welcome to express your thoughts and my thoughts all the way to 4 p.m. There are a few. Well, maybe not a few, maybe several anomalies with the Nigerian situation, and my focus today is on the Nigerian people. If you're a parent, and you have a child, that's why you're a parent, or you're a guardian and you're responsible for a child, and that child has got an exam coming up. Whether it's the BECE or so that GSS3 students are about to write, maybe it's the UTME examination that some other students are about to write, whatever exam it is, there's an examination coming up. And your child or ward does not study for that exam. I mean, literally every day, the child is watching cartoons on TV, or is playing video games, or is playing outside, running around, playing tag, catch me if you can, or whatever it is. As a parent, as a guardian, do you honestly believe that that child is preparing to pass that examination? Do you honestly believe that child is preparing to ace the examinations or do well in the examinations? As a parent or a guardian, or at least a responsible parent or guardian, you will instinctively, or should at least, know that child is preparing, and as such, it will be foolhardy, possibly even foolish on your part, to expect that that child is going to pass that examination. So if you do nothing about it, and the child goes in for the examination, and then maybe some days or weeks afterwards, the child presents to you a terrible report card, you should not be surprised. You cannot be surprised, because once again, you saw that child fail into study, fail into practice any of his coursework or classwork, fail into do assignments, fail into read or practice anything, simply playing video games. And I'm not saying video games are bad, they're good, by the way, or watching cartoons, and that's good also. I did a lot of that growing up. You know, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but if that's all the child does or did, and did not prepare for the exam in any way, study in any way, you cannot and should not be surprised once again if that child brings home a terrible report card. But it's amazing how, as a parent, you would expect a child to study so the child will bring home a good report card. You would expect to see the child preparing adequately so the child can bring home a good result. But when it comes to matters of governance and leadership and political activities in River State, you do not extend the same perception. You do not associate it with the same mindset or with the same thought process. And that completely amazes me. Case in point, story here in the Punch newspaper, Lagos APC fails to release results of primaries. Lagos APC fails to release results of primaries. Now, here's the story. The result of the All Progressives Congress local government primaries for councillors and chairmen, which was conducted on Saturday, has yet to be released. As of Monday, The APC secretariat along Acme Road, Ikeja, was barricaded by policemen and soldiers, and no vehicular or individual movement was permitted. The security official at the gate did not allow any journalists inside the secretariat, saying, quote, "No media is allowed in." The spokesperson for the party, Mr. Shea Oladejo, did not pick his phone when our correspondent called him on Monday. However, a source disclosed that the results for many of the local government areas in the state, such as Alimosho, Ojokoro, and Ijede, had been declared inconclusive, hence the delay. I'm going to read that paragraph again. A source disclosed that the results from many, not some, not a few, but many of the local government areas in the state, such as Alimosho, Ojokoro, and Ijede, had been declared inconclusive, hence the delay. Now, this is not an election that's taking place in Rivers State to fill elective positions in government. No, this is a primary of the All Progressives Congress. Yes, some form of election, but within the party, to determine individuals that is going to fly the party's flag in the coming local government elections in the state. Now, what's happening with the APC in this story is representative of what happens with most, if not all, political parties in Nigeria, especially the major political parties. Is representative. So I'm not suggesting that this is an APC problem only. So the APC is obviously finding it very difficult to conduct primaries within its own party in Lagos State only. Now, if a political party such as the APC, like I said, it's representative of what happens even in the other parties also, especially the major ones. If a political party is unable to successfully conduct primaries within its own party, like that child of yours that will not study for the examination, how can you possibly think, how can you possibly expect that this political party or the individuals that are running the show responsible for this are going to lead successfully? How can you expect that to happen? Because once again, you're that parent, your child did not study for the examinations, and you expect that the child is going to come up with a report card that says the child came first in school. How is that possible? Back to the story. A chairmanship aspirant for the Ijede local council development area in Ikorodu, Lagos State, Mr. Oluwatosin Onomade, who visited the secretariat, said the election only held in one ward out of 4 in his council. He said, quote, "They came on Saturday for the election and the election was conducted in my ward, but we have 4 wards in the LCDA and the other 3 wards there was no election." So 4 wards in one LCDA in Lagos State, a primary once again within one political party, and the election held in only one ward and could not hold in the 4 others. How could Nigerians consistently see the failures in preparations and somehow expect that these actors, whoever they are, whatever party they belong to, be it the APC, be it the PDP, be it Power Must Prevail party, whatever that is, how can you consistently see the failures in preparation? How can you consistently see the doldrum, the lethargy, I'm struggling for words right now. How can you see the unpreparedness for leadership, the unpreparedness for governance? How can it stare you in the face so starkly, and yet somehow you just think that, oh, yep, they couldn't get it right in their primaries or within their party, but somehow when they get into government, they'll get it right. How are we able to think that way? How are we able to process information that way? Because in our personal lives, we very likely would not process the information that way, especially with the analogy of the child and the exam I gave a while ago. So if you would not think of it in that light with your child and a common examination, why would you choose to think differently when it comes to governance and leadership and political parties or political actors for that matter? So it's time for Nigerians it's time for you to start to think properly, to start to process information appropriately, to start to look at the issues critically. And not just political actors coming to dance and sing and shout and abuse the other people that they are stupid. No. Consider their actions. Consider their inactions. Consider the successes. Consider the failures. Consider whether or not they look like they're preparing or they're adequately prepared for these positions they say they want to vie. Yes, the democracy want to entrench democracy. We want to improve that. Is that democracy within themselves? Because the people who are not practicing democracy amongst themselves, how can they give millions of people or hundreds of millions of people a democratic system? How is that possible? If 5 of us cannot be democratic amongst ourselves, how can we promise and deliver democracy to 5 million people or 50 million people? So let's think critically about these issues. The same way that you would not expect your child who did not prepare for an examination to come up with a good result, how can you expect political actors or gladiators as they're called, who make a mess of a very simple process as a primary? How can you expect to deliver anything positive as far as governance is concerned? On that note, I end my rant. Thanks for listening. I hope I did not bore you. Any thoughts about let's hear it? That almost the same line to open. We got 0817 923 0002 or 0003. That's 0817 923 0007 as well. We are live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH. Also, you can check out Twitter at Nigeria Info PH. Live on youtube.com. Just search for Nigeria Info PH. WhatsApp is on 0809 030 6416. The rant is back. I just delivered the first in several weeks. I think 2 or 3 weeks actually. I'd like to get your take and my take. Once again, numbers are 0817 923 0002 or 0003 or 0007. Via Twitter at Ibinabo Dayi 2 tweets. Rant has eaten the results, maybe. Anything can happen in this country. Oh well. Oh well, these things do happen. Via Facebook, Oshijai Ovia goes, the problem of Nigeria today begins from the political parties. Until the parties get it right, Nigeria will drown. Oshijai Ovia, you may have a point there, but what you're saying is, if the political parties do not get it right, Nigeria will drown. There's a good chance that these political parties will continue the way that they're doing. So it's up to Nigerians to decide. It's up to you, Oshijai Ovia, to determine that you will not drown with any political party or any political actor. Then make a conscious effort to make proper decisions to ensure that you do not drown with anybody, especially if you are determined to not drown. I think I'll also open the 0817 923 0009 number. I suspect strongly that we may be having some issues with the phone lines. I will confirm that shortly. But numbers once again, 0817 923 0002 or 0003. Also 0817 923 0007 or 0009. In the absence of the possibility of taking any phone calls right now, I might be sticking to social media. So once again, that's on Twitter at Nigeria Info PH, also Facebook.com / Nigeria Info PH, and let's see, what's that last one? Oh, yeah, WhatsApp. WhatsApp on 0809 030 6416. And a quick, just a moment, I'll be back shortly, and to take your contributions. Okay, I'm back, and I think the phone line's active once again. All right, let's see what's happening via WhatsApp. Dio, my dilemma is, how do we get these people out without joining the major political parties? Well, that's for you to determine. I'm not going to try to figure that out for you. It's not entirely my job to give you a definitive roadmap. My job is to point out what the challenges are. And as a Nigerian, as a citizen, you have a responsibility to work out your salvation, I suppose. I've got Reginald on the line. Reginald, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Hello, Dario.
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
Yes. Reginald.
Go ahead, please, Reginald. Go ahead.
Yes. Political parties is owned by all the members of those political parties. But in the event that not everybody are involved in where certain decisions are taken, and a group of persons that are involved and then take decisions, whether rightly or wrongly, on behalf of the party, as a member who is not involved in that decision taken. What do we do? What is the right thing for that person, for other people who are not involved in the decision taking? What are they supposed to do? Well,
all right, Reginald. As I told a previous, I think there was a previous message that I had here as well, and I did say that, which I read out just a while ago. You have a responsibility to yourself as a citizen. And this, my rant was not about any one political party, and I'm not suggesting that the political party is bad or one is good, or you should go for one political party or against another. And like the caller was asking, if you were a politician and you're sure that the democratic process is not working in the party that you're in, the question I'd like to ask is, so why are you still there? If the systems and structures of your party are not democratic, and what you want to do is lead a democratic process or be part of a democratic process that would eventually result in the fulfillment of the aspirations of the people that you lead at whatever level, whether it's a ward, whether it's a local government council, whether it's a state, whether it's whether it's the entire country for that matter, whether it's a senatorial zone or whatever it is. You know, if you're sure that the party, the vehicle, which is the vehicle here, is a faulty one, the sensible thing to do would be to latch on that vehicle and join another vehicle, or purchase another one if you can afford to. Via WhatsApp. The funny thing is, other parties, we know which, would make a mockery of the APC as if they're any better when we all know they're birds of a feather. What a shame. We need fresh, blonde politicians. That's AY from Port Harcourt. Good afternoon. Nigerian politicians are not ready to embrace genuine process. They can do all the unimaginable to satisfy their greed and evil desire. God forbid. That's from AJ Pascal. Hector says, bad government emerged from the party primaries, and so whatever we fail to get right at the party primary, we will find it hard to get it right generally. It is the political parties that produce bad leaders in our society. Good afternoon, Daya. I'm glad the rant is finally back. In my opinion, what we have in this dear country is nothing but by forced leader Datum Hannah. And just some of the other comments I got right now. you are not bound constitutionally or any other way. You're not bound to vote for a particular political party. No, you're not. There's nothing in the Nigerian constitution that says you must vote for a particular political party, or that says you must vote either party A or party B, and otherwise you can't vote. What any responsible citizen should do, especially in our case where political parties do not have any clear-cut ideologies. You can't say that this is the ideology of party A or party B or party C. There are no clear-cut ideologies. And that's why when they're angry or upset at each other, they can jump ship at any time. In fact, they can cross carpet as many times as they are upset, which is very often, by the way, because there are no clear-cut ideologies. So what I would say is, if you ask for my recommendation, as a responsible citizen, vote the person that you believe is best suited to actualize your aspirations as an individual. Once again, there is nothing in the Nigerian constitution or any other law for that matter that states that you must vote a particular party or you must choose between one of two parties or three parties. No. Look at the individuals. Look at their track records. Look at their preparedness levels. The same way when it's time to send a child to a school, as a responsible parent, you're not going to say, oh, my child must go to this school. No. Or you're not going to say my child must go to school A or school B. No, you're going to ask around. You're going to feel around. Possibly you might even visit those schools to see what's happening there. That's what a responsible parent should do. And find out what's going on. Find out the process there. Find out about the pedagogy employed in that school. And then you make a decision, an informed decision, as to which school your child should go to or which school you should send your child to. Back to Facebook. Let's see. Finbars and Yeke on Facebook goes, Nigerian voters know fully well what to do, but the problem is that our votes do not count. Now, therein lies another fundamental problem. The erroneous belief that your votes do not count, once again, which is a propaganda that a lot of Nigerian politicians have successfully sold to you. Now, what that does is this. It creates voter apathy. What that means is, because you believe your votes do not count, when elections come, you are not a part of it. What this creates is, it creates a vacuum. And then the bad politicians are then able to manipulate the process because you're absent. And when I say you're absent, I don't mean necessarily physically present to do anything, but because you are not a part of the process, then there is so much that it makes it easier for them to manipulate the process. Go out there, go and cast your vote. Go and cast your ballot, because it counts. If your vote does not count at all, the politicians come, for example, 2023, they will not buy you t-shirts and face caps. They will not eat bole and fish along the road. They won't fry akara. They won't go to the market to buy ugu. They won't come to your villages to carry babies who are not wearing clothes. Naked babies. Because your votes count, that's why they do those things. If your votes did not count, they won't buy you rice and oil and wrapper. They know it counts. Unfortunately, you don't. Very sad indeed, actually. Anyways, we've got the business news coming on top of the hour at 4 p.m. Discussions continue afterwards. The contentious registration revalidation exercise in River State and plans at addressing that situation comes up in the 4 o'clock hour. Do please stay with us.